Welcome to English with Tony. Hi everyone. I want to welcome all of you to this video. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I know you have many choices on YouTube, and you choosing to watch my video truly means a lot to me. After building my foundation, I refined my English by analyzing native structures, mastering prepositions, and advanced shadowing. This led to unshakable confidence and my dream job. My journey taught me mindset, consistent practice, and fearless speaking are key. Your fluency starts now. Part 4. Phase 2. The real practice begins. Alright, so after those first 15 days, I felt much better. I could say simple sentences without thinking too much, and I felt more confident. It was a good start, a strong foundation. But I knew this was not enough. I didn't want to just say short, easy sentences. My big goal was to have real conversations. I wanted to understand native English speakers easily, without trying to translate every word in my head. I wanted to speak fluently, like it was natural for me. My game-changing plan. So, I needed to go to the next level. I thought hard and created a new plan. This plan was different. It was a game changer. I truly believe this plan would change everything for my English. And if you follow it, I promise you will improve faster than you ever thought possible. The core problem I had. Before I tell you about the new methods, let's talk about a big problem I had. When I tried to speak English, my brain felt very slow. I knew many words, but when I needed to put them together to make a sentence, it was hard. The words didn't come out quickly. I needed a way to make speaking feel natural, like breathing. So, here are the breakthrough methods I used in Phase 2. Breakthrough methods. Step 1. The question-answer method. This method is very simple, but it's super powerful. It helped my brain get fast at speaking. Here's how it works. 1. I asked myself a simple question in English. 2. I answered it immediately, without thinking too much. 3. Then, I repeated the process with different answers, making them longer and adding more details. Let me give you some examples. Question. What did you do today? At first, my answer was short. I worked. Then, I forced myself to say more. I worked on my project, then even more. I worked on my project for 3 hours. And more. I worked on my project for 3 hours, then I took a break. And finally, more details. I worked on my project for 3 hours, then I took a break and had some coffee. See how I added more details each time? This trained my brain to think and speak more. Another example. Question. What did you eat for breakfast? First answer. I ate eggs. Then, I ate eggs and toast. Then, I ate eggs, toast, and a banana. Then, I ate eggs, toast, and a banana because I was really hungry. And the longest answer. I ate eggs, toast, and a banana because I was really hungry and I love eating a big breakfast. I did this every single day for at least 30 minutes. My speaking speed got much better. My sentences became longer, and I completely stopped translating in my head. It was amazing. Step 2. The echo technique for pronunciation. One of my biggest problems was my pronunciation. Even when I spoke English, I still sounded like a foreigner. People understood me, but my accent was strong. So, I found a special way to fix this. This is the best way to improve pronunciation without a teacher. It's called the echo technique. Here's how it works. 1. I listen to a native speaker from movies, YouTube videos, or podcasts. 2. I pause the audio after each sentence. 3. Then, I repeated the sentence exactly the same way. I tried to match their speed, their tone, how their voice sounded, and their emotion. For example, I took a short video clip from a movie. The person said, I don't know what you're talking about. I paused. Then I repeated. I don't know what you're talking about. I tried to sound just like them. Another example from a podcast. The speaker said, "It was a beautiful day, so I decided to go for a walk." I paused. Then I repeated. It was a beautiful day, so I decided to go for a walk. I did this every day for 30 minutes. After just 1 month, my pronunciation improved so much. Even native speakers started to say, "Wow, your English sounds really natural." This made me very happy and confident. Step 3. Smart vocabulary learning, the story method. I knew that learning new words was important, but I also knew that just memorizing long lists of words doesn't work. I had tried that before, and I forgot the words quickly. So, I needed a better way to learn vocabulary. I use something I call the story method. Here's how it works. 1. Every day, I took 5 new words. 2. I then created a short story using all 5 of those new words. 3. I read the story out loud 10 times. This helped me remember the words in a natural way. 4. And most importantly, I tried to use these new words in my real conversations or when I talk to myself. Here's an example. My new words for the day were excited, invitation, party, arrive, surprise. My story was, I was very excited because I received an invitation to a big party. When I arrived at the party, I got a huge surprise. It was my birthday party. I did this every single day. After 3 months, I had learned over 1,000 new words without memorizing anything. The words just stuck in my mind because they were part of a story. Step 4. Training your brain to think in English. One of the biggest problems for many English learners is that they first think in their own language, and then they try to translate it into English. This makes speaking very slow and unnatural. So, I trained my brain to think directly in English. Here's how I did it. I described everything around me in English. For example, when I walked outside, I would say in my mind, the sky is blue. The weather is hot. I see people walking. That man is wearing a red shirt. I just described what I saw. I asked myself questions and answered them in English. For example, what am I doing right now? And I would answer, I am sitting in a chair, drinking coffee, and writing in my notebook. I wrote a daily journal in English. Every night, before I went to sleep, I wrote about my day in English. At first, I wrote very simple sentences like, today I went to work. I was tired. I ate pizza. It was good. But after 1 month, my writing became much more natural and detailed. After just a few weeks of doing these things, I noticed something amazing. I was no longer translating. English words and sentences just came naturally into my mind. It was a wonderful feeling. Step 5. The 2-hour English rule daily. Finally, I made one simple but very powerful rule for myself. Every day, I had to speak English for at least 2 hours. No excuses. How did I do this? If I had no one to talk to, I talked to myself, like I told you before. If I didn't have much time, I spoke English while doing my daily activities, like cooking, cleaning my room, or walking outside. I would describe what I was doing. If I felt lazy and didn't want to do it, I would remind myself, English is my future. I cannot quit. This thought always pushed me to continue. This rule made sure I practiced speaking every single day, no matter what. Part 5. Phase 3. The final breakthrough and refinement. After all that hard work in Phase 1 and 2, I had built good habits. I was speaking to myself, asking and answering questions, and practicing pronunciation. My English was much better, and I felt more confident, but I still had higher goals. I wanted to push myself even further. The important realization. I realized something very important. Just listening and speaking wasn't going to be enough. I needed to understand the grammar and structure of English properly. I didn't want to make small mistakes that could confuse people. And I definitely wanted to sound more natural, like a native speaker. So, Phase 3 was all about making my English truly excellent. Specific strategies for refinement. Here are the specific things I did to reach that next level. Step 1. Looking closely at native sentence structures. Every time I heard a sentence, I didn't just repeat it. I asked myself, why is this sentence structured like this? For example, I would hear someone say, I have been learning English for 5 months. But in my mind, maybe I thought it should be, I am learning English for 5 months. I would stop and think, why is it have been learning and not am learning? I learned that the English we learn in school is sometimes different from the English people actually speak every day. I looked up these differences online, or sometimes I just listened to many examples. I learned about real-life grammar rules, like how to use present perfect correctly. Then, I wrote down these common sentence structures in my notebook, and I tried to use them in my daily practice. This helped me speak more correctly and naturally. Step 2. Conquering prepositions. Prepositions are small words like on, in, at. They can be very tricky. Why do we say on the bus but in the car? Why is it at night but in the morning? It was confusing. So, I kept a small notebook just for prepositions. Every time I heard a confusing one, I wrote it down with an example. I also searched online or listened to native speakers carefully to understand when to use on, in, or at. Slowly, these small words became easier. Step 3. Detailed journaling and copying good writing. I continued to write my daily diary in English every night. But now, I tried to make it better. I started to read blogs, books, and news articles in English. I looked closely at how native speakers wrote. I tried to copy their style in my own diary. For example, if they used a certain way to start a paragraph, I would try it too. This helped my writing become more natural and fluent. Step 4. Advanced shadowing. I loved the echo technique from Phase 2, but I made it even better. This is what I call advanced shadowing. Here's how. I found videos of native speakers talking. I put on my headphones, and then I would repeat every single word immediately after them, not waiting for the sentence to finish, but saying it at the exact same time, like an echo. I tried to match their speed and their pronunciation perfectly. I did this for at least 20 minutes a day. It felt hard at first, but after just a few weeks, my pronunciation improved dramatically. My mouth and tongue got used to making English sounds much faster. Step 5. Active learning with movie subtitles. Watching movies in English is fun, right? But I didn't just watch passively. I used movies to learn actively. I watched English movies with English subtitles. But here's the trick. Instead of just watching, I would pause the movie after almost every sentence and repeat it aloud. I focused on their pronunciation, their tone of voice, and the rhythm of their speech. This method helped my English start sounding more natural little by little. I learned how people really talk, not just how words are written. The decisive factor, confidence. As I did all these things, I realized something truly important. English is not just about words and grammar. It's also about confidence. Even if you know many words, if you are afraid to speak, you won't get far. So, I made a big decision. I would not be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are okay. They are how we learn. I started speaking to people in English whenever I could. At work, in stores, with friends who also spoke English. And what happened? People understood me, even if I made small mistakes. They didn't laugh at me. This gave me so much confidence to keep going. Facing my biggest fear, talking to native English speakers. My biggest fear was talking to native English speakers. I was afraid I wouldn't be understood, or that I would just freeze and not say anything. So, I had a strategy. I prepared 10 common conversation topics and practiced them daily. Simple things like, how was your day? What do you do for work? What's your favorite food? I practiced answering these questions in different ways. Then, I took a leap of faith. I found and joined an online group where people from different countries practiced English together. I was nervous at first, but then I realized everyone there was learning, just like me. We all made mistakes, and we all helped each other. I made new friends, and we practiced speaking together. This not only improved my English, but also made learning fun. This phase was all about becoming brave and using all the tools I had learned. It was the last big step before I reached my goal. Part 6. The moment of triumph and incredible results. After all those months of hard work, practicing my sentences, doing the echo technique, telling stories with new words, and always speaking English, I started to feel something amazing. As I reached the final part of my English learning journey, a new feeling grew inside me. Unshakable confidence. It was a strong feeling that would not go away. I truly felt good about my English. Testing my progress. I wanted to see how much I had really improved. So, I started testing myself, speaking to myself in the mirror. I stood in front of the mirror and talked to myself. This time, there was no hesitation, no stopping. The words just flowed out naturally. I wasn't translating in my head anymore. It felt easy, having a real conversation with a native speaker online. This was a big test for me. I joined an online meeting with people from different countries, and one person was a native English speaker. I felt a little nervous at first, but then I told myself, I've worked too hard to doubt myself now. So, I started talking. Oh, the result was amazing! I spoke clearly and with confidence. I didn't have to look for words. I understood others easily, without feeling lost. People listened to me, they nodded, and they asked me questions. It was an incredible moment. I was actually having a real conversation. The moment of realization. That was the day. That was the exact moment I knew. I had done it. I had achieved fluency. I could really speak English. Going back for the dream job interview. A few months after all this, something big happened. That dream job I had failed to get before? The one that changed everything for me? Well, they had another job opening, and I decided to apply again. This time, I was a different person. I was no longer the nervous, quiet person who couldn't find words. My journey had brought a huge transformation. This time, I walked into that interview room with confidence. I sat in front of the interviewers not as someone who was afraid of English, but as someone who had mastered it. I knew I could speak, and I was ready. During the interview, I spoke clearly and answered every question with ease. I didn't struggle. I wasn't just speaking English. I felt like I was owning it. It was my English. I could see it in their eyes. They were very impressed. Not just with my language, but with my effort, my persistence, and the big change I had made. My resounding success. Then, a few days later, my phone rang. It was the company. I picked it up, and I heard the best words. Congratulations, you got the job. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it. It was my dream job, with the same big company that had said no to me before. My starting salary was also much higher than I had ever thought possible. I was so happy. I called my parents right away to share the good news. My mother cried happy tears. My father said, "We always knew you could do it." In that moment, I realized something important. I wasn't just doing this for me. I was doing it for them too. All their support, all their belief in me. It felt so good to make them proud. With my first salary, I did something special. I bought gifts for my parents, a nice watch for my father, and a beautiful gold necklace for my mother. Seeing their happy faces was even better than getting the job itself. And that was the moment I truly understood the meaning of success. It was all worth it. Every single struggle, every late night studying, every moment of frustration, every time I felt like giving up. It was all worth it. My English journey was hard, but it changed my life completely. Part 7. Key lessons from my journey. So, you've heard my whole story. You know how I went from being scared to speak English to getting my dream job. Now, I want to share the most important things I learned. These are the key lessons that helped me, and I believe they will help you too. 1. Your mindset is everything. This is probably the most important lesson. Many people fail to learn English because they believe they can't. They tell themselves, "I'm not good at languages," or "English is too hard for me." If you think like this, it will be very difficult to learn. I changed my mindset. I started telling myself, English is not difficult. I can learn it just like any other skill, like learning to ride a bike or cook. I stopped saying, "I am bad at English," and instead I started saying, "I am improving every day." Even small improvements count. The message is clear. If you think you can't do it, you won't. But if you believe you can, you will find a way. Your mind is powerful. 2. Surround yourself with English. To learn fast, you need to make English a big part of your daily life. I made English my world. I changed my phone language to English. I watched only English movies and TV shows. I listened to English songs. I even followed English-speaking people on social media. Every single day, I was feeding my brain with English. It was everywhere around me. I also kept practicing thinking in English. For example, if I saw a blue car, I would think, "That's a blue car, it's moving fast." This made my brain get used to English words. 3. Speak without fear. This is a big one. Many people are afraid of making mistakes. They think, "What if I say something wrong? What if people laugh at me?" But mistakes are part of learning. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers sometimes. I realized that native speakers don't care about your small mistakes. They are happy you are trying. They appreciate your effort. So, I force myself to speak. I talk to shopkeepers. I ask strangers for directions, even if I knew the way. I talked to myself all the time. The more I spoke, the better I became. Don't wait to be perfect, just speak. 4. Active listening and shadowing. Listening is super important. It's how we learn how words sound and how sentences are built. I trained my ears by listening to English podcasts, audiobooks, and real conversations. And then, I use shadowing. This means you listen to a sentence, and then you repeat it immediately, trying to copy the speaker's pronunciation and the rhythm of their words. It's like being their echo. This technique helped me improve my accent and fluency so much. My mouth got used to the sounds of English. 5. Expand vocabulary smartly. I learned that just memorizing long lists of words is not effective. It's boring, and you forget them quickly. Instead, I learned words in context. This means I learned words as part of sentences or stories. For example, instead of just learning the word happy, I learned the phrase, "I feel so happy today." This makes it easier to remember and use the words naturally. 6. Grammar without books. Many people spend hours and hours studying grammar rules from books. I didn't do that. I learned grammar naturally by listening and speaking a lot. When I made a mistake, I would notice it later, or someone might gently correct me. For example, if I said, "He go to school," and someone said, "He goes to school," I would remember the correct form. I would correct myself and try to use it right next time. My message here is, the best way to learn grammar is by using the language, not just by memorizing rules from books. Use English, and grammar will become natural. 7. Consistency over perfection. My last lesson is super important. Consistency over perfection. Many people make the mistake of trying to learn everything perfectly before they start speaking. They wait until they know all the words and all the grammar. But then, they never start speaking. My approach was different. I didn't wait until I was perfect. I started speaking from day one, even when I only knew a few words. I had one simple rule. Every day, I will do something in English, even if it was just 10 minutes of speaking to myself, writing a short paragraph, or listening to a podcast. The key is consistency. Doing a little bit every day is much better than doing a lot just once a week. Even on days when I felt lazy, I still did something. This made English a daily habit, and that's how I kept improving. Part 8. Final advice and call to action. So, this is my story. It's the story of how I learned English and changed my life. Now, I want to give you some final advice. These are the most important things to remember from my journey. You can do it. First, please understand this. You don't need expensive classes. You don't need to spend lots of money like I almost did before. You don't need a perfect environment. You don't have to live in an English-speaking country to learn. What you do need is a strong desire to learn. You need to really want it. And you need a commitment to practice every day. That's the real secret. Imagine your future. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself just 6 months from now. You are speaking English fluently, confidently. You are having real conversations. You are understanding movies without subtitles. Now, imagine all the opportunities that will come your way. Maybe a better job, new friends from around the world, or exciting travels. Imagine how proud you will feel about yourself, about what you have done. This future is possible for you. Your journey starts now. So, what are you waiting for? Start today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect time. The best time is always now. Speak English. Listen to English. Practice every day. And never give up. Your future self will thank you for starting this journey today. Because this is not just about learning English. It's about changing your entire life. It's about opening new doors. If I can do it, you can too. And now, I want to say something very special to you. If I can do it, you can do it too. It truly doesn't matter where you start. Maybe you know only a few words. Maybe you feel very shy. That's okay. It also doesn't matter how bad you think your English is right now. Everyone starts somewhere. I started from a place where I couldn't even say, "How are you?" easily. What matters is that you start today, right now. Take the first step. Face your challenges. I know it's hard sometimes. I know it can feel impossible. There will be days when you feel tired, or you make a mistake and feel bad. But trust me, the only thing that stands between you and speaking English fluently is consistency. It's about showing up every single day, even when it's tough. So please, stop doubting yourself. You are capable. Stop making excuses. Find the time, even if it's just 10 minutes. Surround yourself with English. Make it part of your everyday life. Speak, listen, read, write every single day. Make mistakes, learn from them, and improve. That's how we grow. The truth and your choice. Because here's the truth, a very important truth. The pain of discipline is temporary. It lasts for a little while you work hard. But the pain of regret lasts forever. It stays with you if you don't try, if you give up on your dreams. So, what will you choose today? Will you choose to stay where you are, or will you choose to grow? Choose discipline. Choose growth. Choose success. Your journey to English fluency starts now. If my story inspired you today, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be here with you every step of the way on your English journey. Let's do this together.